Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the third and last, and in some ways biggest, look at the reflection of the light, of the Rachmaninoff Complete Edition. This is the Melodiya one. It's big, isn't it? It's like a big, huge thing. It's quite expensive, and given the current political circumstances out there in the world at large, it may be that Melodiya will not be available much longer or for very long. I have absolutely no idea. But we're going to talk about it anyway, so at least we know something of what's going on. It's really, it's got 33 CDs and one LP with previously unreleased recordings. I am not sure that makes any difference. Now, the other two we've covered were the Decca Rachmaninoff edition, which on the whole was the best, I think, of all three of these, frankly. I'll tell you straight up. And then there was the Brilliant Classics, which has some very, very good things in it. They licensed some absolutely splendid material. But Melodiya is Melodiya. And I gotta tell you, let's have a chat, shall we? Here's the deal with Melodiya. Russia has unbelievable performers. They do. Not that they always do justice to their own music, but they often do. And some of them are splendid, but most of the best of them, let's face it, have had big international careers, and they've recorded for Western labels. Melodiya is an interesting sort of remnant of, communism in that it was the state-run recording company. And as a result of that, they never had to do anything, like quality-wise. So they may have had the best musicians, but they were recorded in the most awful sound with the most horrible quality. I remember their LPs. I remember the pressings. Holy mackerel. I remember getting recordings of Russian operas from the Bolshoi that came in these thick cardboard cases wrapped in burlap with twine covering them, and they smelled like cow manure. It was really just awful. I mean, the quality was irrelevant. They didn't care. And the sonics were irrelevant. They didn't care. I remember also, I had a friend who worked for Sony way back in the day when Sony was licensing things from Melodiya, and they got a Boris Godunov recording, I think it was, and they insisted they wanted it in stereo. And so the Russian engineers sent them what they said was stereo. And they played it, and it didn't sound like stereo. And they ran it through their oscilloscope, to see what it was. And there was one single channel going through. They wrote back to, Melodiya and said, we asked for stereo. Could you send us stereo? And the note they got back was, chief engineer, Boris Raskolnikov says is stereo, so is stereo. It was mono. I mean, that's what you get with Melodiya. And so while some of these performances may be magnificent, and some of them are, they're going to sound mostly lousy. It wasn't until the very end of Melodiya as we know it and the well into the digital era that they started making good sounding recordings, largely in partnership with Japanese labels or other Western labels. It really is a shame. So you should know that straight off, that what you're going to get in here may be some very fine performances, but the sound is going to be unbelievably variable, insanely unbelievably variable, and often very bad. Tolerable most of the time, bad as often as not. So that's just a fact. Now let's see how this is packaged and presented. Let me get comfy here. Here we go. Okay, so we take the lid off. There's the lid. It's off. And you get this very large, well, first of all, this is the weirdest thing in the world. You get an LP. The LP has Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto No. 2 and the Vocalese with Vladimir Krynev and the Leningrad Philharmonic, conducted by Yuri Timirkanov and Dmitry Kitayenko, recorded live in Moscow in 1973. Why would anyone want that? It's an LP. I don't know. So this is going to its home away from home over there on the bed. Now, then we get the book, and in addition to the book, you have these discs in their lovely little, thingies to get them out, the 33 discs. And there's some duplication stuff, but we're going to tell the story. Uncle David is going to do your bedtime story, the Melodiya Rachmaninoff edition. So let's see, Rachmaninoff collection, here it is. Why does the type look like it's upside down? Okay, it's not. It's not. That's just Russian script, which always looks like it's upside down for some reason. One of the dearest memories of my childhood was associated with 4 notes rung by the big bells of Sophia Cathedral. Okay, yeah, all right. That's, you get notes translated. Not too badly, actually, all things considered. And there we are. Oh, look. I thought this is just a book full of notes. There's no track listing whatsoever. None? Is there nothing here? No, there's nothing there. That's really helpful. Well, what's in the back here? Contents. Well, they tell you what the contents are on the discs. So that means we got to pull out all the discs. So this goes with the LP over there on the bed. Now, so let's start with, yes, here they are. Okay, oh goodness. This is going to be a chore. Get ready, folks. So what do we have first? This is piano stuff, right? Yes, piano stuff. Played by, Dmitry Masliev, Tatiana Sherbanova, Evgeny Svetlanov, Emil Gilels. He's okay for some of this. Leonid Brumberg and Mikhail, other people. Here's the bottom line. Oh, and Rachmaninoff himself doing something. Not that we care. Alexander Goldenweiser, he was famous, playing the Melody, Opus 3, number 3, and Rachmaninoff doing his prelude in C-sharp minor. Now, most of the famous people, like Gilels and whatnot, have Melodiya boxes for themselves, as you may know. And if you have those Melodiya boxes, then you won't need this stuff because you'll already have it. But, maybe you don't. So let's see, piano stuff. Moment Musico, Opus 16, with Victor Oresco. Victor Oresco is a really good pianist. I really like Victor Oresco, I have to say. He's very, very good. And Lazar Berman, and Dmitry Bashkirov, and Emil Gilels, and famous Russian pianist people. Vladimir Safranitsky is in here doing a couple bits. And when we have, the preludes, it's just a mishmash of every Russian pianist they can get their hands on. For the preludes, you get people like, Pavel Serebriakov, Grigory Sokolov, he's famous, doing a couple, Konstantin Sherbakov, and Sviatoslav Richter, and Yevgeny Kissin, and more Victor Oresco, and Emil Gilels. These are major people. And a lot of this stuff is already well known. Some of it isn't. This is everything that they did before they defected. Well, the ones who defected, the ones who stayed, obviously, were still there. Then we have Etude Tableau, Opus 33 and 39, and it's Richter and Nikolai Lugansky and Kissin and Vladimir Shalivovokin and Leo Vlasenko, and recorded anywhere between, 1980, 1983, 1986. All right, recorded 1978, 1977. Okay, these are in the days before, after Russian recordings became a little better. Then we've got Piano Sonatas 1 and 2 with Yuri Martinov and Andrei Pisarev, recorded in Cinelab Sound Mix in 2018 and 1984. So these are quite different sonically and quite a bit better. Whether you will like the performances or not, I just listened to them over the past month or so. They didn't make a huge impression on me, but you may feel differently. I don't know. Let's see. The variations on Chopin, theme of Chopin and the theme of Corelli with Alexander Bakhchev and Vladimir Trop from 1962 and 1977. Rather forgettable. Suite numbers 1 and 2 for 2 pianos with Nikolai Petrov and Alexei Cherkasov. I like these. These are from 1970. They're fun. They get into it. Good thing. Let's see here. 2 pieces for 6 hands. This is little stuff. The Symphonic Dances in the composer's transcription for piano 2 hands, and that's with Adolf Gottlieb and Mikhail Gottlieb, recorded in 1988. And, it doesn't say when all of it's recorded. It doesn't tell us. Thanks. That's very Melodiya. And then we have piano transcriptions and, with all the same people we've just talked about. Let's not belabor the point, shall we? Those are those. We're going to just do let's just do the major works and not worry about the rest so much. Okay, so that's that. All right, that was Blob 1. Let's go on to Blob 2, which starts with Volume 10. Here it is. Oh my goodness. Okay, Piano Concertos 1 and 2 with Richter and the Moscow Radio Symphony, and then the Leningrad State Philharmonic Academic Orchestra Honored Collective of the Russian Soviet Socialist Republic with Kurt Sanderling, 1955 and 59. Well, of course, everybody's going to want to hear those. Those are classics, right? I like the collective part. I mean, it's the old title. Piano Concertos 1 and 2. You get them again. This is with Victor Oresko in number 1 and Boris Berezovsky in number 2. Let's see, conductors are Gennady Provatorov and Vladimir Ponkin. These are live recordings from 85 and 91. Why not? So you get them twice, and you can do the comparisons. I still think Oresko is really, really, really good in this music. Number 3, and the Paganini Rhapsody with Emil Gilels and Kirill Kondrashin. Well, that's a classic, right? And then you get, let's see, and Victor Oresko, I guess, is doing the Paganini Rhapsody. Well, again, with Vladimir Ponkin, with the Leningrad State Philharmonic Academic Orchestra Honored Collective of the Russian Soviet Socialist Republic. Yay! Well, the first one with Emil Gilels is from 1949. That's right. I remember dimly being unable to hear a lot of it. That was why. And there's another number 3 here with Vladimir Horowitz and the London Symphony under Albert Coates. Well, I mean, that's just public domain stuff, right? From 1930. And then another Paganini Rhapsody, this time from 1982, with Sergei Dorensky. I mean, this is getting a little iffy, wouldn't you agree? I mean, these are things you can get elsewhere, so it doesn't really make any difference, right? Then we've got two performances of number 4. One with Nikolai Petrov under Rozhdestvensky, and the other with Victor Oresko, with Gennady Provatorov. Again, these are from 1965 and 1985. And I've already talked about Oresko, so that's fine. Then we've got orchestral music. The Scherzo for Orchestra and a bunch of scherzos. No, Prince Rostislav of the Rock and the Capriccio and Gypsy themes, and a bonus of an extra rock. So it's Svetlanov in a couple of these things, Vladimir Fedosiev, who I think is just unbelievably uninteresting, and let's see, Nikolai Golovanov in the bonus rock. He gives us the bonus rock, and he's, Golovanov was a free spirit, shall we say. Lots of fun, but that was recorded well. I mean, it would have been way back. Archive recording, no date. That says all you need to say there, doesn't it? Let's see here. And we've got the Youth Symphony number 1, Dmitry Kitayenko with the Moscow Phil in the Youth Symphony, and the USSR Ministry of Culture with Rozhdestvensky in Symphony number 1 from 1990. Rozhdestvensky is just heavy-handed. I don't know. There's so many better performances of number 1 out there. Number 2, let's see who's doing number 2 with the Isle of the Dead. Okay, it's the Svetlanov recording, and it's 85 for number 2, which is good. That means it's one of the crazy digital ones, which is really exciting, or it should be. And let me see. Wait a minute. I'm looking at this. Look at the cut. Oh, the finale. What's left of it? Scherzo. What's left of it? Well, it's chopped up. It's chopped up, and I don't like chopped up. I really, really don't like chopped up in that symphony. There's no reason for it. And then the Isle of the Dead is with, it's the old Svetlanov from 66. Don't need it. And let's see, number 3, and the Symphonic Dances. Okay, it's Svetlanov again in number 3 with the Moscow Radio Symphony from 62, and lousy sound. And the Symphonic Dances with famous Kirill Kondrashin recording, 63. Also, not great sound, but the performance is just dynamite. Oh, wow. So, as you can see, you have some classics, some stuff that anybody can get anywhere that isn't even uniquely Russian, and some things that just aren't very good. It's the truth. All right, next blob. Here we are. Blob number 3. vocal music, Spring and the Three Russian Songs with some more bonus stuff. I'm just going to look through here and see if there's anybody we care about. This is, Alexander Gauck is doing Spring. Gauck was a wonderful conductor, by the way. And there are a couple of boxes of his stuff that popped up on Brilliant Classics, licensed from Melodiya. I may talk about them sometime because I have them. They're not even here in the overflow room. They're in the underflow room in Brooklyn. And let's see, we've got number track, all the other stuff. The Bells and the Three Russian Songs. That's Kitaenko. Why? It's just, he's such a dullard. So uninteresting. You do get, I believe, a bonus Bells here with the one we all want. The one with, who's it? Kondrashin. There's also, wait a minute, on track 9, a bonus. You, My Fairness, My Rosy Cheeks. Oh, that's the last of the Three Russian Songs with Golovanov. It's a archival live recording from 1947. Well, at least they give you the date. That's awfully considerate of them, don't you think? Let's see. Now what else have we got? The Miserly Night, the opera. Okay, you've got these Bolshoi operas. This is with Rostistvensky, with no date. Well, that's the way they do it. Then Francesca da Rimini. That's with Mark Ermler from 1975. Oh, thank goodness. These are mostly with like Bolshoi type forces, and they're very Russian sounding, and that's okay. And then we've got, what is this? Some Oh Mother of God, Praying Vigilantly. Oh, this is Chorus of Spirits, 6 choruses for women's voices and piano, from the Vespers and some other stuff. It's a mishmash of choral works. And it's just a mishmash of choral works. You don't need to get into it. Here we go. The Liturgy of St. John Chrysostom for mixed choir. There we go. This is with the Moscow Chamber Choir and Vladimir Minin. These are good performances. Although they have some wonderful ones. I really was hoping. That's from 1988. That's fairly recent. And then you've got the Vespers, the all-night vigil, which is just such a magnificent piece. And it's the famous Chernyushenko performance with Vladislav Chernyushenko, which is just marvelous. This is recorded in 85. I actually thought it was earlier. Well, that was the Sveshnikov, I think, was the earlier one. There were two sort of vying for our attention on Melodiya. It just had fabulous Russian choruses. This is the Leningrad State Academic Glinka Choir a cappella. Yeah. And they are just, oh my goodness, they're marvelous. Now, if I miss something, this is a teeny tiny type, and in the opera area, I may have left something out or something, but don't worry about it. It's probably there. Let's see what else have we got. Okay, songs. Oh, these songs. Unbelievable songs. Every singer you've ever heard in your life. That sang in Russian. And they are from every period, from the dawn of recording to last week. So I can't go through all these songs because there's dozens and dozens and dozens of them. But there's Mark Risen, and there's, let's see, who else? Yevgeny Nestorenko, and there's actually, I think, Yossi Bjorling actually pops up in here at one point, which kind of blew my mind at one point. But let me see here. Yeah, there's Irina Arkhipova and Vladimir Atlantov and Mark Reshetin. And let's see who else. Listen, okay, fine. There's those. This is all song stuff. It's all song stuff. Irina Arkhipova, I said that, right? And yeah, okay, people we've already talked about. And North Zaremba, Dulka Penchovcha, Reason Ivanov, Nilep, Mr. Nilep, tenor, and Ishumskaya, soprano. You don't even get their full names, which really doesn't help. So that, it would be nice if you had them. And 14 romances and 6 poems and more stuff. Let's see. Oh, look, there's an N. Rojdestvenskaya, soprano. Well, that's interesting. I guess she's related to Rojdestvensky, right? Then we have, this is string quartets that are unfinished and chamber works with Shostakovich Quartet and Gideon Kramer and Oleg Meisenberg are on here. I wonder if that was stolen from somewhere. Who knows? And Rostropovich and Alexander Rudin, the cellist, and Alexander Dedukhin, piano, and these are all classic Russian things that sound quite good. And then we've got the trios with the Shostakovich Trio, And then David Oistrakh with Lev Oborin and Sviatoslav Knushevitsky, cello, this is from 58, doing the big second trio. And last but not least, the cello sonata. Is that it? The cello sonata with Daniel Shafran and Anton Ginsberg and Rostropovich and Dedukhin. So that's it. The vocalese. There you go. Here's your Russian edition. I know that sounds kind of scattershot and random, but that is a direct result of the scattershot packaging and presentation. I mean, it looks very nice, I have to say. I mean, let me get these back in here. I could have sworn there was another bells or something in there. Let me just go back for a second. Because I remember, never mind. The bottom line is this. If they're not going to make it easy for us to find anything, then I'm not going to worry about finding it. It just drives you crazy. Now, like I said, this is 33 discs. It's not as complete as the other complete editions. And in terms of like fragmentary works and other things, everybody has got their extra stuff. The Decca is still the best one out there in terms of performance quality. But what really kind of gets me about this is that it's extremely expensive. And for the money that they're asking you to lay out, they have, even the Melodiya catalog has better performances than some of these. They really do. Some of them were licensed or co-productions. I understand. But they could have done better. They could have found more worthy stuff. And I also think, the sonics, like I said, are like all over the place. And if you want to spend, I don't know what this was, $200 or $300, it was a lot. It was really a lot compared to the other ones. The other ones are like a quarter or a fifth the price, if you can still get them. I know the Decca one's still around. So why make yourself crazy spending a fortune here, getting this thing, assuming it's still available? I don't see the point. I really don't see the point. This is what I would call a provincial product. A truly provincial product. Yeah, there are some great artists doing some great stuff. And of course, that stuff should be available. But in attempting to put together a complete edition, it was a grab bag. There wasn't any logic to it. There's no discussion of why things went in and what didn't. There's no, like I said, track listing or anything, although the booklet is nice and the essay on Rachmaninoff. But, you can see what a chore this thing is to go through. And for that kind of money, you don't need the aggravation. You just don't. So you don't need this. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Bye.